You are now live on Channel 8 and YouTube.
Thank you, Hannah. All right, the time is 4:30 p.m. on this Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. I am Chairman Justice Graves and call this meeting of the Capital Improvements Committee to order. Please rise and stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so with us, we have a quorum of our members here today, as well as the ex officio member, the town administrator. So with that, we will go to item number 2. Review of the meeting minutes. I take it we're going to defer to the next meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a family emergency Sunday night.
No, that's okay. We have plenty of time. So we will defer the last set of meeting minutes to the next one. So that is fine. All right, so that gets us to our third item on the agenda, which is department presentations. Tonight we have the Department of Public Services, Community Services, and the Sewer Department. I'll look at all of our presenters here tonight and ask, does anyone have any time constraints and needs to go before anybody else? If not, I'm gonna have Bob go first, since he's first on the list. Okay, Bob.
Yes, I'm up. I'm not sure I don't think I put these in the packet and already looked at the equipment. Thank you. From that.
Thank you, Bob. Bob, can I have an extra copy of that?
What sense?
5 cents.
But one clear
Whereas he
pennies.
probably would pull out of his pocket.
Good evening, Bob Sozak from the Department of Public Services. I'm assuming Justice kept the packet in the same order I sent it, or?
Yeah, so I have it as buildings and grounds first and then highway. Is that how you have it?
No.
No, you have the opposite? Okay.
It's easier for you, I can,
It doesn't matter which way would you prefer.
might as well separate, so if you want to do buildings and ground, that's fine.
Yeah, we can do buildings and grounds first, because that's what I have.
Excuse me. So. Buildings and grounds. A lot of them are repeats and a couple of them are new. The first one we're looking at is update with the generator at the senior center. All total cost is about, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, which? Is it this?
Oh, that's right. I have yeah, it's generator at the senior center. Look at what you've got. Oh, they're double-sided, so maybe both you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is 81,000 on the back side.
No, if you want to go
The other one?
other direction.
Oh,
There we go.
oh.
Generator.
All
All right.
We're going.
Now we found our spot. We're good to go, Bob.
I think he's gonna go along with the flow.
So generator at the senior center, well, cost about 88,000. Last year when I presented it, I presented the electrician's costs and costs from Caterpillar on a propane generator. Excuse me, this year I presented it with the electrician and a generator included. And the reason it's 88,000 is because of about another 5,000 to plumb the propane from the building to the tank and the generator. So I think it went up. I don't know how you put it. Last year's request was 70,000. And plus 18,750 for the electrician. This will give us another place for shelter, needs of bad storms, able to do meals for the seniors and otherwise. I know this has been on a priority list for the select board. A couple of members were wanting to see this go through. That's where we're at with that.
So quick question. You said it was 70 plus 18 last year?
71,000,
Oh, 71 last year. And
70,000, and then on top of that, 18,750 for the electrician.
okay, all right. Thank you.
Next item is building the grounds, there's a stand-on blower. This would free up a lot of labor time, cleaning up all the town commons and cemeteries. This was presented last year. Same machine, and the price did not change. Any questions?
You're good.
I don't, does anyone have any questions? No, James?
Moving on to the next item, this has been repeat, at least I think this is the third year, replacing the windows that are left here at Town Hall. There's a couple in here, a kitchen.
Town Administrator's Office.
We're gonna freeze them out. That did go up a little bit, from last year. Last year was 19,800, we're looking at 20,200 this year.
20 senior center.
And it was $19,800 last year. This year is $20,200.
So I'm a little confused, because when we did the Saturday budget, I thought the windows had been included in the budget overall.
I hear or no?
No,
Replacement windows here, no?
Okay. All right.
I don't know
That's wrong.
what window you,
Yeah.
talking,
you talking about the budget hearing meetings?
Yeah, during that meeting,
Yeah, they talked about it, but they used the money, the free cash instead to, for CCTV and a few other items, so we
yeah,
didn't.
I didn't get
do
no
anything.
capital.
Yeah, we
basically
didn't do anything.
for
We
this
didn't.
year.
But Bob, was it proposed and then it was dropped?
I thought Adam was gonna propose the windows in the parking lot.
Yeah, so that did come here in front of Capitol, and then it was on the recommended list, and then the recommended list just got totally thrown out the window.
because I must have missed that part of it,
Yeah.
because the way the conversation went was that the select board definitely wanted the windows done, so that way the grant, the green community grant could be done, and the only way it could be done and submitted is if the windows were done, and so they said, do the windows. That's why I'm confused.
They dropped the ball.
I never got the approval to go ahead and do the windows in.
Yeah.
I never saw any changes on that.
It's just the way the budget hearing happened was in March and then everything and then May.
What Candace is saying is accurate. That's what I recall as well from looking back on it. She had the hearing and then mostly everything was dropped thereafter.
Yeah. And most of it was to accommodate the free cash to go to the budget.
Well, it was all changed, right? I mean, as far as I was aware, nobody knew until the budget dropped publicly on that Thursday before the budget hearing on that Saturday, what had or hadn't been changed. Like, maybe
I never received the email
Yeah.
that
No.
even happened. It was
None of us did, no.
Yeah, all the budgets just happened like, yeah, it was like you had to go to the hearing and you had to do your homework the night before.
Yeah, but then that hearing, and then just before the actual town meeting, there was a select board meeting where the select board sat here and went through.
Right. They didn't have the money. I don't know what they were doing.
Unless they made a change to one thing and then they switched something else. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Okay, I'll go back and listen to that.
Yeah,
Okay,
it just didn't happen. I think,
as far as I know.
I got sure when I came into office.
Moving on, next item is a repeat as well, which is paving basically from the the dumpsters back towards Patriots Road with berm and the sidewalk in the front of the town hall. The same price as last year. He did not change it, and that's 48,600. Any questions on that one?
Mm,
Moving on, next one, which is a new item. I call it the dog house outside here of the town hall. It's a red looking shed around the outside of the town hall, which gains us access to the basement from outside. And that's about $10,000. It's pretty rotted out. Be new, some new studs, vinyl siding and a new door.
Yeah, I seen it the other day. It's in really bad shape. I don't know how long it's gonna last.
There's no questions on that. I'll move on to the next. The pro turn mower for buildings and ground, zero turn. We used to, when Carter was here, we used to rotate mowers every year. That pretty much stopped. So it'd be good to get back in rotation with the mowers for buildings and grounds.
How many mowers do you currently have, Bob?
I believe there's 6.
And what, how old are they? They getting old?
We have one older one. And well, they're on that inventory list if you, I believe it's.
Yeah, let's try to look at it quick, but. Are any of them the pro turn ones? Cause I know what you mean by those.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. That's just some. Which one are you looking, which one are you looking to replace? 2018?
Probably be BG 46.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay. That's just a regular John Deere, huh?
That's the older one, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Either 46 or 31.
Was it you have questions?
no, I just found it.
Okay.
And apologies, I should be going through the chair, so I apologize.
No, that's fine. The way that we've sort of done these is as long as everybody doesn't talk over themselves, it's fine if we go back and forth, just so that it helps move the process along a little bit. And that way we can get, the answers that we need. So that's perfectly fine. When we start getting to other discussions, it'd be more appropriate, but we're fine right now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
No problem. Bob, I want to keep going.
Sure. Moving on to the next, this is a new item as well. Excuse me, the new landscape trailer. It's a larger trailer, able to put 3 mowers on it. To move from site to sites, be more efficient and saving time instead of running 2 trailers or somebody running back and forth. And that's 10,200 for that.
Are you keeping all the other trailers or are you planning on?
Well, if we got another trailer, I know we probably gift one down to Parks and Recs because they're in need of a trailer. And that's all I have for buildings and grounds. Ready, we'll move on to highway.
Mhm.
First item is a utility pickup. This is a repeat for a few years anyways. I was told last year, well, for this year. I know I think they changed the name, they call it the meal tax, but I was promised that this year I would able to get that money and I did not. It was at a town meeting, voted on and approved to buy police cruisers and small highway vehicles. And every year it's a police cruiser. And this year, my turn, it didn't happen. So I don't think it's fairly being distributed, if it is being distributed between the two departments. But we're in dire need of this utility pickup. And the price of that is $94,321. Last year's price. It actually went down a little over $200, $94,551.
Was this the one that they had this big conversation last year? If it was gas or diesel, is that the?
No, that was the
That was a
larger
different-
trucks.
Okay.
Oh, so the two trucks that you got, the diesel trucks last year?
Well, you gotta separate your
Yeah.
classes. The larger trucks are all diesel. We got smaller trucks, a couple of 550s, which don't require a CDL. One is diesel and one is gas.
Okay,
And then we have a 350 pickup truck. We just sold a utility truck at the last auction. Because it went past inspection and it had a lot of rot.
so which one would this be replacing?
This would age 33, which isn't on the slip because it went away at the auction.
Oh, okay,
It's not on the inventory list anymore.
and this is a really silly question. How many people, do you have more vehicles than you have people? Or do you have
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
we
same?
definitely have more vehicles and people, but when we're doing smaller jobs, we're not gonna waste diesel and wear and tear on the larger vehicles, which we use for snow plowing, sanding, or for hauling loom, hot top, we use the larger vehicle. So smaller trucks are more day-to-day operations for smaller stuff, saving the wear and tear on the bigger stuff.
Okay.
I can use more help too.
Easy, Bob. We're talking about capital here.
Next item, I've been working on this since I started replacing all the old beaten up trucks. I got one more to go. I was gonna say, well, we just received two 750s, but that was with the ARPA money. One more truck would be replacing all the old fleet. F-750 plow sander dump truck. And that's at 238,000. It went up a little bit from last year.
Bob, do you use outside contractors to help with plowing? I forget. I think we've had this conversation.
Yes, I have seven subcontractors.
Ne-
One company has a loader and a 6-wheel CDL dump truck. And most of the other ones are 9-foot plows on 1 tons.
9-foot
Which I
plow.
pair up
1 ton.
with one of our guys when everybody's doing a route, they clean up the intersections and they make the first pass when the highway truck's making a second pass. To save time, instead of one truck back and forth 4 times.
Mhm.
It works out good and it does speed up the cleanup time.
And so in addition to that, you have your own trucks that are stacked by highway?
Yes, we have 5 trucks. Normally we have 6, so we're gonna be short. Cause we sold 2 or 3 at the auction. I'm just all done putting down, wasting town money at home. It's thousands of dollars. It makes me sick.
Right. Now, have you ever had trouble finding outside contractors to help you with plowing? Because
Most of them are repeats.
Yeah.
That I had for the last 3 or 4 years.
and do we pay competitive with the state? Because the problem I had in other towns was that the state paid way more than we did, and so
We
we.
look at the state rate and close to it, but not quite on top of the same rate.
Okay.
And it goes by GVW or what type of vehicle you have. But I've been fortunate to have the same repeat of subcontractors every year.
And you says 2 companies?
2, 3 or 4.
Okay. Okay, I guess I would just worry that one year you would lose out to the state, and so having our own vehicles is probably beneficial. Cause we
Well,
have
it
that
is,
problem.
If we get like an inch and a half, 2 inches, like. We usually kick it off, try to save my snow and ice budget with the smaller trucks. Split the guys up and go around, just kick off. Sometimes it's just the mains. But I try to save money where I can.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
That was,
Yeah, so just for Mr. Ryan's benefit. Over the past couple of years, the select board has actually talked about how much it is actually done in-house versus how much is done
Mhm.
Under contract. So you may want to have a conversation to see where they stand with that.
well, there are applications we do every year, as I spoke to you about, which due, I think, the end of this week. Subcontractors ain't called, are not called in until we minimum of 2 inches. And then right after the final, you know, they sign out, they sign in and they sign out. You know, we let them go early as we can, obviously to save money, so.
Right. Okay, understood.
So that's 6 wheel 750. Next item is skid steer. That's been a repeat for a few years anyways. This machine, it's like a little loader on tracks. Put all different types of attachments on it. It'd be great for backfilling trenches and while you're working in the street, it'd take up lots of lanes. It can assist in plowing sidewalks. Because we only have one sidewalk machine.
Hmm.
And also a small mill head, it'd be more professional. Some of these bigger potholes to mill them out, square patch them, and they hold in place longer. Be a 12-month machine, using it year round, very handy. And that seems to be staying about the same price as of last year.
Are these, the different items you talked about, are those attachments that you put on it, and do we already own them?
No, we don't already own the attachments, but it does come with a front bucket. The rest of the attachments would be above and beyond that.
Okay, so that, the 100,000 doesn't include all of that then?
No,
But you could
Be
buy,
in-
you could buy it in theory and buy the attachments later if we need them.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
even out of my supply budget, if I have enough money, I'm close to the end of the year, because anything under 10,000. We don't try to put on capital unless it's over that. And it'd be handy around the school up here. And the police station, there's a lot of jogs and stuff. It's. Yeah, we talked about getting one with the school years ago, back when Carter was here. Between the school and the highway department and sharing it. And housing it up at Templeton Center Fire. But that went to the wayside too.
Okay.
Next item is front end loader. A second front end loader. Well, it's an old 90s something, it's all rotted out. And the history behind that, if you remember, some of you, we had a 2014 Volvo that needed extensive repair. I believe it was over 60,000, and I brought it to the board, and they have voted to purchase a new one and trade this one in towards the new one. So we don't even really use that second one. It's not safe. It's rotted. It's not reliable. I've been putting this on for several years. Because my original plan was, if that loader was okay, that 2014, that was gonna be dropped down to the second loader and purchase a new loader, but that plan fell through. So here we are. I believe that went up a little bit from last year.
And so this one replaces one we already got rid of, or one that?
No, the 90, Hmm,
You said 214?
H13,
Oh,
1996. And I believe that's the last item. Nothing a couple million can't handle.
Yeah.
You folks have any other further questions or?
Anybody?
I don't.
And if you look at, when you get time, if you look at the inventory list on most of my stuff, but not all of what I got listed, we got replacement dates and a lot of them are coming up. The problem is when I came here, we had, excuse my saying, pile of junk. Gotta, was able to get me a lot of new stuff in the town. That's gonna occur again. You're gonna be in the same position a few more years down the road. And I'm always in favor of lease vehicles, like Chairman Bennett said, 5 or 6 years, come get it, get a new one, less maintenance, less headaches. You can do loaders, you can do trucks, all kinds of stuff. And you're gonna have the rotation in equipment. I know the last town administrator didn't like lease vehicles, because of debt on the books. I know Winchendon does a lot of lease stuff and.
Do they-
love it.
Bob, do they do leasing or do they do financing?
Leasing. You
Does-
can do leasing or leasing option to buy after.
Because the problem with leasing is that you get into a repeated cycle of constantly having the payments.
Yeah.
As opposed to financing, you might finance it for 5 years, so it's less of a chunk up front. And you own it after 5 years, and so you spread out the cost of the
Do
operating
that
budget.
too, I mean, I see where you're coming from. then.
It just, so after we pay it off, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, whatever. If we're not in a position to keep making those payments and we need a break, we could stretch it out longer type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I guess to your point, if it's lease to buy, you have a similar option.
Right,
Does it depend on the interest and whatever, but that's
right, I mean,
larger conversation.
I know there was a member on the capital board before and he was all in favor of leasing too, so I mean, it's not my decision, but I know we're looking into getting, rotating some of this stuff, so we're not being hit all at once.
So with how the equipment's been functioning and how your team's been using the equipment, what do you think is the most cost-effective approach for, given all of your equipment? Is it lease? Is it buy? Is it?
Like I say, at least you have to look into, I know 1 year. Myself and Chief Dickey, we looked into a couple of companies and supplied some information on it. But the thing is, it's like police cruiser, use them, rotate them. Some vehicles, so the smaller departments that don't use them on a daily basis, 8 hours a day, they'll probably last 3 or 5 years, but. To be reliable and dependable, the stuff's gotta start getting rotated.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about your heavy equipment specifically,
Yeah,
is if you were king for the day, what would you do?
I would start rotating out the H8, that would be the first one in rotation. I'm not saying, yeah, it's gonna save you money and maintenance, but all this new stuff with the electronics, as people know in your cars, that even an emergency brake, if you can't release it, what do you do?
Mhm.
And a lot of these, like Mac and stuff, they don't give you the software anymore. You gotta go through the deal and have it towed or whatever. And a DEF fluid, which is a solvent that helps to run cleaner engines for the air. Those filters, if those go, they can be anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 just for that filter on the bigger trucks and equipment. Right now, we had a problem with the lower end backhoe, but thank God they're under warranty, so. So that does help you get the warranties and using them and not costing the town. I would rotate more often, but I don't know if that's gonna be possible here.
So part of the consideration that the town has to make is that whenever you lease or finance a vehicle, you're gonna pay interest on it. So over the course of 5, 10 years, you're gonna pay a lot more for the vehicle. But the benefit of that is you're not spending 200 and something thousand of your free cash to buy it up front. So that's a balancing act. I think the town has to decide together to decide, okay, what do we buy up front and what do we need, but we can't afford?
Mhm.
So, we may decide that we need one of these big ticket items, but we can't afford to dish out 214,000 in free cash in 1 year.
Mhm.
So that might be a finance option. We did a combination of that. We've always done a combination of that, with the exception of Wellesley, who had more money than God and just buys everything outright.
So, okay, and
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Next.
All right, with presentation from the Department of Public Services being done, we will move on to the sewer department. If you would like to, I don't think everybody here knows your name. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yep. I'm Ryan Scoville, I'm the assistant chief down there, helping out the superintendent Jeff Aldrich. And stuff, relatively new to the town, been there about 4 years, so coming up on 4 years. But before you to put in for a new pickup truck. So, I believe Jeff's got down there that kind of working a little shorthanded and like to get it before the capital fund department and stuff like that, with when the opportunity comes up to be able to purchase a pickup truck. I think he's got down there that he priced one out at about 50,000, just a half-ton pickup.
sorry, where is that on? This is,
Has
Yeah.
Milton on the back, says cat. This one.
is it, which, oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. What
The other one.
other directions?
Yeah.
Where, no, keep going forward. It's not a lot. There we go. It's back to back.
Oh, okay,
There we go.
thank you.
We're good to go. All right.
Sorry.
No.
I'm trying to keep up with it.
Me too.
Too many pieces of paper. All right.
Hard to say paper, two-sided.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, no problem. And we do have the quote in here from Jeff from McGovern MHQ.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Then I know Jeff also provided the
Schedule.
yeah, his schedule, what he has so far, and then this one is one that he would be adding to the fleet.
Correct.
Correct, okay.
Yep.
All right, so it's not replacing any one of these, it's just adding it to the fleet. Is there a particular reason that Jeff told you why we're adding it to the fleet, or is it, I know that there have been, I guess that's just my question is what, adding it to the fleet, I know that they,
It's down there in the notes, but it's mostly
oh, okay,
added to the fleet to is kind of short on a vehicle and stuff. We're kind of rotating people through them as needed, and sometimes we're a little shorthanded on a vehicle in needed response, so.
does anyone have any questions?
So including Jeff, how many, I know you've told me before, how many sewer employees are there currently?
I believe there's 6 of us.
And how many trucks? 5,
Um,
like pickups?
pickups, we got 1 half-ton, 1 3/4 ton, and a 1 ton, and then Jeff's little Colorado. So
Okay.
only 4 trucks.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
there any other questions for Ryan?
I just, so do we have, do we have a list, of all the vehicles that the sewer department has?
It would be,
Is this all of them?
this would be the list. right
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're working on inventory for the town. I think it's helpful.
All right. All right, with that, we're
I-
all,
I do have some-
oh, you know,
Yeah, so the purchase of this, is that coming out of the town capital or coming out of sewer?
I
I
understood it would be more or less,
thought it was,
well, I understood it sewer.
yeah, me too.
Okay,
yeah. I
But
can-
because it's something bigger than 10,000, we at least need to put it before capital. I believe that's how Jeff explained it to me.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I can clarify it with Jeff, but I believe it was to come out of sewer retainer.
It should
Yeah.
come out of sewer unless we have a
Correct.
fundamental
Yeah.
problem with the retained earnings.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how I understood it.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, thank you.
And last, but certainly not least, Jackie Crown, want to come up for community services in the library.
Yes, hello. I'm Jackie, from Community Services.
Me,
There are two requests that are both coming as repeat before your board. I don't know which you'd like me to start with, the library or the senior center.
I have it as library first in the packet, so if you want to start with
Okay.
library.
Yeah.
That's probably an easy one. This is a renovation project in the front two rooms of the adult side of the library. It's come before this board for a number of years. But I'm pleased to say I feel like it's getting close to being worked on and completed. It primarily involves updating the electrical, doing some ADA compliance with the shelves, their configuration, the bathroom, and refinishing the floors and the walls and adding some lighting. The majority of the project is being funded through the Ann and Ed Nordforce bequest from their estate from several years ago. In addition to that funding, we have been awarded one CPA grant a few years back also, and there's an additional one on the fall town meeting warrant next week. As I said, we've got the design from the architect. The bid was awarded to a contractor. We've got Monty Tech on board to construct offsite the bookcases and the window seats. Bob's been a tremendous help with this, and we just had some folks out to take samples for lead and asbestos testing. We hope to have those results next week, which will kind of give us a more accurate picture of what we're looking at in terms of what, if those findings are positive, what that does to the budget for the project. Do you have any questions?
Are there other things, and I should have asked the gentleman that just left, I forgot to ask him that, is, we're trying to stay within the bylaw that basically says, anything that is potentially coming expected capital expenses or requests over the next 5 to 6 years. Beyond this for the library, do you see other things coming?
For the library?
Yeah, over
Oh,
the
yeah.
next 5 years.
We'd like to update her office along with the story, the time room, the ceiling on the floor, and in the doors. The rest of it's pretty good shape. This is the main part of the library that the construction renovation will be focused on.
Okay,
There would be another phase down the road, yes.
so sometime is what we're actually trying to do is actually look at creating a plan for, there's never enough money for everything that everybody needs. But it's trying to anticipate what's coming up so that way we can try to do something within the budget to be able to prepare for things going forward. At least that's the idea. So if we could get something that says roughly when you expect and what kind of time frame, that would be really good.
So I think, I'm sorry, Jack.
No, that's
I-
fine.
Like the other part of the story room in our office, that can be done in phases, like I think what you're getting at. So if we decided to do the ceiling 1 year and then the following year, maybe do the door. And the third year, do like the flooring. I think that's what you're looking for.
Right, exactly. It's so we can try to figure out how to meet some of these needs, or at least better prepare for the needs.
Right.
Also trying to figure out the ballpark of what you think it'll cost. I mean, granted, it'll go up.
I don't see any of the things that Bob is mentioning as being anywhere near the cost that.
Of this.
No, none of that's in there.
It's not even close.
We can get a quote from a local contractor, but 3-5 years down the road, that could either
Yeah.
come down or triple, or you don't know which way it's gonna go, but like Liz is saying, if you do it in phases, say it's 10 grand to do the ceilings. Let's get the ceilings done and work our way down and slowly get the.
You know, if you know the whole thing is gonna be, and I'm just making up a number, 40 grand, right? And you know, so, and you know how you want to split it out, say, all right, in fiscal year 27 or 28, we want to do the flooring at 10 grand. And then the next year, you know, whatever the next thing is you want to do, and just, it's the kind of, you know, or if you say to do the entire project together, we think roughly, and it doesn't have to be really, really hard numbers. It's just, this feels like 60 grand, or this feels like 20, or whatever it is, to kind of give us an idea and when you need it.
Is that something you could send us?
What's that?
Is that something you could send us a number before we close our?
Something I can work on. Again, I'm not gonna have it ready for you by the end of the week, no.
No. What are you thinking, Justice?
No, our next meeting, when we actually start to try and build a plan and what our recommendations are gonna be for FY 27, isn't gonna start until November 19th. So that's in 2 weeks from today. So, you know, by the end of next week, maybe even Monday, right before that meeting, if you could get us just a rough outline of the phases that you think you're gonna do and how much it would cost you there in total or in each part, just for the next few fiscal years, if that's what plan ends up being, because I know this library renovation needs to happen.
That's what I've been trying to do here, is doing stuff in phases, like the windows have been going on 3 or 4 years, and that's a small project. Now I added a doghouse, another
Yeah.
year would be all the flooring in here, because the renovation was okay, but it wasn't what I would have expected for a town hall renovation. I would have expected a lot more. But we're slowly picking at all the small stuff.
Yeah, well, the capital wants to do a 5-year plan, the vision, so that the town can start planning for it. So not knowing the items, if you know something, basically, if you know something, send something. And if you have an estimated idea what I think it's a ball, I don't like, no one's gonna be like, oh, hold your feet to the fire, 3 years, you know.
And to prioritize it, so that
Yeah.
way we have a understanding of, we definitely are going to do this in this fiscal year, or we're only gonna push it back so far because we've known for, 3-4 years that this is coming down the line. It's done. As
I mean,
opposed to
like
just like-
this year, if they through the windows, because we're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, we're trying to make the building more efficient and keep the green grant, people happy. And then, next year, yeah, I can list the flooring like up here and stuff, but I can't have that ready in a couple.
No, that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's
And,
fine.
and it doesn't have to be, at least in my opinion, how the two. It doesn't have to be a rock solid quote from a vendor, unless it's something you want to do this year, where it's just, it's for planning purposes only.
Right,
So,
the carpeting, they get so much a square foot, I can
Yeah.
yeah.
rough number out of that.
And however you come up with your estimate going, yeah, I did a quick look online and it's, X amount per square foot, as you just said. you know, or whatever it is, just to give us a general idea.
Feel for the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't know, we can't plan.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How is this different than what we're trying to work on now at the library? Like the contract we're trying to get for the bid that the select board approved before I was even here?
Yeah, this is it. That's
It-
this.
okay.
That's.
This is it.
All right, so we're talking about we're talking about FY 26 right now.
We're talking about the thing that's going next week. I know that, that we had asked about this because last year, I don't think there were a lot of solid numbers. And I think now there was some very early rough shape, and I know that the committee had wanted to see you come back and at least explain what was going on with this.
Right.
So that was part of it.
Okay, thank you.
And this could go, yeah,
Yeah.
more into 2027 too. Yeah. Basis.
Okay, the senior services request, you've seen this before, and in full transparency, I presented it to the advisory committee. They urged me to endorse an earmark to Senator Zlotnick for funding for the carport, as well as some additional floating hours for the senior center staff. So while that hasn't been put before the select board, I hope it will be soon, so that the earmark request can be sent along before the end of the calendar year. And the earmark was described to me as a long shot, so I want to continue to put this before you, because I feel like it's a critical need. Bob was able to get an updated estimate, actually from Fichette Construction for the carport. There's two different models reflected in each estimate. The one that we prefer is the one that has sides to it. And if I can just take a few minutes to explain what the current situation is. Right now, the senior center vehicles that are used for its transportation program are parked in the corner of the parking lot and back of the center. There is nothing, there's no shelter. When it snows, the three drivers who are retired individuals have to shovel out the vehicles, or in a couple of cases, get some of their young grandchildren to come and help them do that. Drive the vehicle over to a portion of the back of the senior center where there's sort of what you as a fire escape type outdoor walkway along the second floor of the building. They have to stand on that platform with a giant snow broom to clear the snow off the tops of these vehicles, which are too tall for them to do it on the ground. Because as you know, you can get a ticket for having snow on your roof. That seems like a big ask for these drivers in order to get them on the road, to pick up our seniors, to go to any number of different destinations. So I think this would be a huge help. You know, there's no way Bob's staff has the time when we've just had a giant snowstorm to help in any of that. So I understand that, and I just think a carport would really go a long way in making that task a lot easier for them.
Bob, how much equipment do we actually have that's not covered? I mean, as in, has any kind of covered roof over the top of it? Because-
Senior center, there's no coverage. I mean, if I was here before they did the senior center, I would have put 2 garage doors down in the basement. They could have put the smaller vehicles in there. But they already have plans for the future use of the basement. The highway barn, we're running out of space. We do park stuff outside because we don't have the room to put it under. A sewer, I believe out there, have plenty of room. We actually store a couple pieces of our stuff down there for the winter, like sweeper and a catch basin truck. As far as equipment outside, I mean, basically the senior center is the only one that doesn't have sufficient coverage on.
Well, emergency management doesn't either.
They do have a few trailers outside, and they're currently using, I guess, a couple of bays up at the Templeton Center Fire. plus the two bays down Ballinville.
Would it, and I'm just putting out ideas out there, would it make sense? I don't know what that equipment is that's in there from emergency management. Would it make sense to instead put there?
Emergency management stuff needs to be at a warmer temperature and covered in case there is an incident. I know there's no room at either fire department, or neither can he put something out there. I definitely don't have any room to sacrifice to park additional 3 vehicles. I don't know what,
And
I don't know if it's a small bay. I don't think the small bus would fit. It's at the cable, we call it the cable building, but Light Water owned it behind the VFW or the Long Noodle.
Yeah.
And I believe they keep a trailer in there. But free space, I'm not aware of anything that would work to house.
I'm just thinking of rearrangement of equipment or something to get it under. And do you have one of those? I don't know what they're actually called, but it's like the big tractor trailers go underneath them that kind of scrapes.
Snow scrapers, no.
No. All right.
So, like I said, this is, I believe she had on a capital before, we looked into a saw-sided structure, something like a salt shed. Which would be more money than this, because it's gonna be snow and wind rated. And the building inspector won't sign off unless it's design and engineer inspect out for that snow. But this is your cheapest option as she's presenting.
We had talked about the potential for using formula grant money, which this would be an allowable use, but where one of our employees is paid through that formula grant, there's no way we can swing what we need using that grant. It would wipe it out.
I was just trying to find.
Oh, I know, we do. We are
Meet the
too.
need. Yeah.
Right, yep. So if you have any questions?
I could build me a new TPW garage and she can have it.
Done.
All right,
Leave enough room for her.
Thank you.
With that, thank you, Jackie.
Good night.
All right. So that is the end of our presentations for this evening. We are now on to agenda item number 4.
Folks, have a good night.
Yeah, you too, Bob. So this is bringing this back from our October 22nd meeting. This is about the section inserting it earlier in the report about what happened the prior year.
Yeah.
I have changed it, I believe, based on the commentary and discussion that we had. I don't know if anybody has any further commentary, any adjustments that they'd like to see on it, or if there's anything more streamlined. Which just was
Yeah, so the one thing that I think got missed, and I'm just bringing this up. It's like when police had talked about vests, right? There wasn't, that funding and everything related to it really was a must purchase. That wasn't something that we could say, yeah, we're not going to do it, because it's a contractual requirement, so maybe that'd just be in the commentary saying contractual requirement or whatever, so that way it's very clear to everybody, and it's communicated that this is not a
option.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, when we do our recommendations, and I know we had asked the police chief, I mean, this is just from what happened last year.
Yeah.
And what did and didn't happen, but in moving forward, and that's really what our committee comments are for when we put it in the report, is saying, why did we do what we do? What absolutely needs to happen? Especially if something is contractually obligated like that, I would. Last year was very different. I would hope that there would be a conversation with the town administrator's office before the budget got presented, and then we have the budget hearings. So with that being said, when we get to committee member comments, when we actually start doing that, when we get into our November 19th and our December 2nd meetings, or no, December 1st meetings, then we're gonna have to figure out through our deliberation process why we're doing things. And anything that comes up like that, that leans more towards that we really need to do this because X, Y, and Z is going to become more of a problem down the road, that we'll only need to highlight that. So if anybody does decide to make adjustments to what's recommended, there's at least that heads up that there might not be as much wiggle room as anticipate with some of this stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Right. I don't know if anybody else has any other thoughts on that. James?
I do not. I appreciate, I agree with you. I think it's, I think putting it in your report's helpful, but I think it's also responsibility of the town administrator to keep track of those things. I don't know what happened last year. I can't see if I'm communicating with the chiefs and the department heads and the select board, I don't know how something like that could be missed. So, yeah.
So, I mean, the past is the past, but I'm just trying to keep us from making those mistakes going forward.
Was this how the, a tracker will come into play? Will we have a tracker on top of the report?
You're talking about like the spreadsheet of everything that we've been presented so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will, after this meeting, now that every presentation has gone through, I will go back through every meeting. And I will start to put everything into, well, we can talk about that later, but, there's spreadsheets that we usually do to at least keep track of what we're talking about, and to start numbering what we're doing.
We'll have to put the 5-year plan in a tracker.
Well, yeah, we can talk about, yeah, I mean, that's something more that we're gonna have to discuss on what form and what fashion we're gonna do that later on. Yeah.
Parks and Rec didn't present. Sewer did, but Light and Water
Did not,
did not.
no.
So especially water and actually Parks and Rec also.
They're new.
Hmm?
The board is mostly new, and they've been told.
Right, so Liz, what is your comment on it? I guess?
My comment is that with the 5-year plan, all right, by them not presenting something, they're basically saying for the next 5 years, they need no capital. And that cannot be correct for water. Cannot.
Probably not.
Okay, which, sorry guys, for water commissioners out there and Parks and Rec, the bylaw is quite clear. You need the 5-year plan. And if they're saying by not being here, they don't have any requirements.
Parks and Rec is not saying by not being here, they're
Well,
learning.
no,
I don't
Correct.
think anyone can really speak for any of them since nobody's
No.
here, but everyone has gotten reminders and was
Yeah.
given this information.
So what I'm trying to say is that later on, if Parks and Rec comes through, later on this year or next year going, oh, we want XYZ for in capital, right? It's like, well, why didn't you present it? And the same thing with water, with the amount of water main breaks we have. Water should be coming in front of capital saying, this is our plan to address those water main breaks. This is our plan to address these things. And, maybe I'm just not interpreting it correctly, but it's telling me they don't have a plan.
Does, can I ask a question? Does the light department typically come to you with light department capital requests?
So the first time that light or water ever came here, and it was a water request. It was for the project down on Vernon and Cottage Street. Otherwise, they usually don't
Was that
Negative
because,
view.
was that because,
That's because they needed to put debt on the books for the town.
Okay.
That's why, because they had to go to town meeting.
so I wouldn't expect them to come unless they have debt, even if you want them to come because of the special act you have.
Okay, because they came to get money out of ARPA to do the water work, the water main work underneath the new rotary.
There might have been, oh, that's right.
So that would be-
Been another presentation as well.
Well, that would be because under the law, the select board was solely responsible for ARPA. So if they wanted those funds, they would have to ultimately go in front of the select board, which means they would have to come in front of you, I suppose.
Well, as we've seen tonight, people weren't understanding the 5-year plan. We've seen it with the two that presented tonight.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a question we've asked everybody so far.
I think
Yeah.
they're just not, I think because the town, I think it's just new to them and then like, yeah. And we had it the last meeting too, the same thing.
Yeah.
The only thing we can do is we can keep, it's on the memo that we put out every year. The reminders get sent out about these meetings. All you can do is you can keep asking for the information, but we don't have good information, then the plan is going to reflect that and the priorities that we're gonna have to set and the select board will have to think about.
Well, I think the other problem is, I think they have to come with a ready set. You know what I mean, application, so
Yeah.
if they're not ready to go, but they think next year's the year they're ready to go, we'll just use like a Heroes Park or something. They're working on it and they know to come, but
But
I
it
don't
might
think they
be,
have all the numbers and all the figures to
it
give
might be
us.
something for next year's committee to consider when they reach out to the departments on if there's anything additional to the regular forms, just to really push that over the finish line.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be able to get a good chunk of the 5-year
But
going,
that's
but I
different.
think next year's gonna be more of a polish and they'll get it better.
Well, have you heard of the 7 Ps? The 7 Ps of planning.
I mean, I've probably heard something similar, but no.
And one of the problems, my opinion, the town has is we don't plan. And if we don't plan, how can we expect to be successful? What's been happening, again, in my opinion, within this committee, is it's been a purchasing. What do we need to purchase for capital? And not what is the plan over the next 5 or 6 years? And, the failing to plan is planning to fail.
Right, and I think that we can kind of cut the conversation off
Yeah.
here. That's
Yeah.
good for the 19th, because we're gonna be going into it then. Again, it's up to each individual iteration of this committee every year to determine what its priorities are going to be, what its values are gonna be, and what we're going to recommend it set. So that's when that'll come out, and that's when we'll start debating that.
Okay.
But anything about, if we're going to include that section 3, does anybody have any comments, concerns, suggestions? All right, does anyone want to make a motion to add it to the report, or the draft report as presented?
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
all right, motion's been made and seconded to add this to the draft report as written. Is there any further discussion? No. All right, we'll go to a vote. How do you vote, Liz?
Yes.
Candace?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. That motion passed 3-0. And just so that everyone is aware, because we haven't had an ex officio member at a meeting in a while.
I don't vote.
You don't, right? He's a non-voting member according to the bylaw, so we're not gonna ask him for votes.
Unless
We
you
may
need-
ask him for recommendations,
Hmm.
but in terms of the final vote count, it'll be whatever the sitting members are on the committee, unless he needs to be a voting member for the purposes of quorum. So that's when that changes. All right. So with that, item number 5, supplemental capital report. So as we found out at the last meeting that we had, the school district is going for and asking for the towns for a debt exclusion for the roof. That had not been presented to capital prior to our meeting last week. It is an item that's going on for consideration in FY 26. The funding for it depending on how you want to look at it, is from the district side, more of an immediate. And from the town side, more of an impact in FY 27 and forward is the way that is my understanding of it. I know that there was more information giving at pre-town meeting last night about what the numbers exactly are, because in the draft report that I sent out to you, it talks about the total amount of 12 million, which I know is not the number that is actually going to go on town meeting floor.
4 million something.
No, the whole thing is just over 10 million.
Right, but the part that it'll be the town's responsibility, because the school is taking out, the thing, is, it wasn't written right, but our vote should be on the 4 million something.
No, it should be on more along the 10 million side, because the town has to take out the entire, well, excuse me, the
The
school
district
district has to take out.
And they have to get authorization from majority of the member towns in order to take out the debt. That's why they
Correct,
have to
yes.
go.
So
Yes,
it's 10
that's it.
million,
Yeah.
So
roughly.
it's 10 million, but Templeton's share and Phillipson's share will be determined after everything else is done, which I know they presented numbers on that.
Mhm.
With that being said, we should issue a supplemental report on this because it is going to be considered for a vote next week. Whether we call this FY 26 or FY 27 supplemental recommendations, I don't, because of the status of where that project is. Not quite sure what we want to do with that.
I would call it FY, just my opinion, I would call it FY 27 because
Yeah.
of the town meeting that we're going to. I think normally in a 5-year capital, it'd probably be FY 27. There's obviously the questions of when the debt's taken out and things of that nature and when it impacts your budget, but generally for planning purposes, FY 27 makes sense.
Yeah. So this will just, if we do list it for FY 27, I will include it at the back of the FY 27 report when we finish it, because it's really supplemental to that. But as soon as we do it, this will be posted on the town website. This is just, I kept it bare bones, because I didn't know what we wanted to do with it. Obviously, I mean, looking at the supplemental report is supposed to fund it through a debt exclusion. I would just strike out the total amount there because that's gonna have to be explained on town meeting floor anyway. With it to be apportioned among Templeton and Phillipson with the reimbursement from the Massachusetts School Building Authority. And it was up to 59% of the total cost. I believe that's what we were told from Dr. Casbin, and that's what came out last night.
So I just have a question.
Yeah.
So say everything, just say if things passed, right? Votes
Yeah.
happened, everything happened. Their plan is to literally start this like at when school gets out. Or they started if they started in June, it'd be FY 26.
Right, so the problem really becomes when it hits the towns, because that won't come out until the FY 27
Okay.
assessment.
Okay.
So
I'm just checking.
is my understanding from this conversation and the conversation last night.
Okay.
So do you want to just say, instead of crossing out the total amount of, can a max of instead, so that way it's, or I don't know the legality or anything else about which way to, if I may ask,
What's the question?
should we try to be accurate with the amount, not include the amount, or max of the amount?
I don't
There's
have,
2 million taken off for the
Okay.
so you're trying to get, you're wondering in your memo here if this 12.8 million number is correct?
Well, I know it's not correct, but it's like, should we be including a number in there or just leaving it as a debt exclusion?
No, you can include a number. I mean, honestly, I think you should include a number, but honestly, it's your report, it's your memo. You can do whatever you want, but we can get you the exact
I
number.
can get the exact number in a few minutes.
And if you want to approve this tonight, you can prove it, I don't know how you phrase it, pending the chair's correct inputting of the number, the correct number. So that way you don't have to come back and revote this. But it's the prerogative of the committee.
So the entire amount that they are looking for. And the school district, as far as I'm aware, that came out last night, they haven't even approved this, but they haven't
Tomorrow.
pushed it to the next step with the MSBA, which is we accept the proposal that you're doing and we want to move forward with this. I know that that's coming out on Thursday. Total amount for the project is $10,864,548. That's the total amount that they'll have to take out for the debt. And that's coming from the district's website with their meeting coming tomorrow, so.
Okay.
So
That change
we can make that change. I can do that tonight. That's fine.
in the FY 27 and call it good.
Okay.
Can I make a motion that we accept this? Is that what?
So what we have to do is we have to make a motion on what our recommendation to the select board would be, and then we can vote to accept this draft as is, and then I will push that out. So what do we want to do? What type of a recommendation do we want to make?
I'd like to make the recommendation that we go ahead and we approve this
Okay.
from our, make the recommendation to, yes, do it. I don't know how to phrase it.
Yes, make a recommendation that we replace the portions of the high school roof and then the portions of the middle school roof.
Okay, so what we're looking for is someone wants to make a motion that we recommend. We'll make a positive recommendation to the select board for the Narragansett Middle School roof replacement.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so who's gonna move that?
So moved.
Okay, who's gonna second
Second.
that? All right, it's been moved by Liz and seconded by Candace. Is there any further discussion? All right, if there's no further discussion, and James, you didn't have anything further to say about this, correct?
No,
No.
thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so with that being said, we will go to a vote. How do you vote, Liz?
Yes.
You vote, Candace?
Yes.
I vote no, that passed 2-1. I will explain my no vote. Because quite frankly, and I understood their explanation at the last meeting, they have been sent these materials for quite a while. This roof has been in process for, it's been needing to be replaced. I understood they were going for it. My vote is on the premise of this should have been presented to us in a more timely fashion, not being brought up last minute at the last capital meeting. And quite frankly, us needing to do supplemental reports, if it's unexpected, I understand that. But whereas they were going for this money and they thought that there was the potential for something going further down the line, even if it was just a whisper that they were really going to push this forward, they should have told us what the estimated numbers were and brought it to the towns a lot sooner than where we are right now. That's just my thoughts on it. But other than that, I have no other issues with us going for it. But again, we've been doing supplemental recommendations for a number of the departments and committees for a couple of years now, last minute during this capital season. And I think there needs to be a change with that. If it happens at an appropriate time, or if it truly is unexpected, I have no problem with that, but sometimes I wonder what's it's the way that I've been thinking the last 2 years on this. So that's my thoughts.
Got some thoughts.
May I
Yep.
add to that?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of plays into the 5-year plan.
Yep.
It does.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so with that, I will draw that up. So the committee made a positive recommendation to the board. So I will write that out. I'll send a draft. I will send the final memo tonight to the select board advisory, and I will post that on the town's website. So there is that. Do we want to make a vote to accept the draft report as is with that recommendation?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay. So that's,
Any further
Acceptance.
discussion? Yeah.
all right. Draft. Report. Motion, justice. Candace.
All right. How do you vote? Was there any further discussion on it, on the form of it? All right, no, how do you vote, Candace?
Yeah,
Liz? And I vote yes as well, so that passes unanimous. Yes.
there you go.
All right. So with that, we are down to committee member comments. I will start with James, since I know he has something he wants to say this evening, but also because this is his first capital meeting. So is there any comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in an informal way, because I wanted to get this on your radar as soon as possible, because we are a good part way through the capital process. I'm late to the party. And I know you're trying to work on a 5-year capital plan. As part of my comment, so informally, if you'd like to go through what I submitted to the committee, I have given you some templates that I've used in the prior towns that I've been with. Do you have those in front of you? I know, I see. one
I
James.
emailed it out. I didn't have a chance to print anything. We're gonna compare.
I just
Going to
did
share.
2 of the
So
pages.
for anybody in the audience, yes, we're sharing, it's things, it's examples of.
Oh,
Yeah.
the tracker type of things.
Yes, and again, this is informal, so if the committee wants to do anything, these documents will be brought to the next meeting or the meeting after, whatever you choose, and it'll be part of the formal record. But so informally, you have, I gave you off, I gave you, sorry, getting tired. I gave you a master template and then some departmental templates, so you could see how we kind of do it. So the police is the full template I provided you. And the front is the summary, so it kind of rolls up to the top, so you can see the requests, FY 20, 25 1, 2, then 26 1, 27 1. And so obviously it's a 5-year capital plan. And as you flip through, each sheet has the item, who filled it out, the date, and then a big space to explain and justify what you were looking at. Down below on each individual item document, and you can break this up however you want. We changed it a little bit in Salisbury from how Wellesley did it, but you could have buildings and improvements, vehicles, equipment, information technology, and other. And so as you flip through Salisbury's police, you have different items. And so the taser thing was interesting because they actually did a 5-year sort of payment plan on those. That's why you see it repeating. And then as you go forward, we got cruiser proposals and bulletproof vests. So, and other stuff, software upgrades. And so as you go through, it kind of, as I sat here today and watched and listened to what the town's needs were, it became more and more clear that a document like this might be helpful. So each year we updated these and rolled these forward, and we sent these out to department heads and said, okay, go ahead, fill them in. And then we're going to start talking about they're due by this date. And we start talking about it. And then, and just so, and I also sent you the Department of Public Works. Their Department of Public Works is structured a little differently, but I just wanted you to see it because it's kind of a more complicated document. And I only printed out for myself the cover page. Their Department of Public Works has a director that is at the top, and then you have highway, sewer, and water. And so it's I just wanted you to see I just wanted you to see a slightly more complicated looking one to show you that, you could kind of develop this any way you want. And so you have that for all the departments that have or need capital. In some years, the library might have something, and in some years, the town clerk, if they have to replace voting machines, they might have something. So you can have as many as you want. And then it rolls up to this master document. And so this becomes, especially helpful when you're trying to look at it from a high level perspective. So this one is the top roll up, the summary, but if we move to the back pages where it says departmental detail, you can see how it's broken down by department. And then you have the listed different items. So police, as we just saw, tasers, patrol vehicles, vests,
The top part.
Yeah.
dispatch radio equipment. It rolls up to another summary that categorizes everything by department and funding source.
Okay. James, can you stop for just a
I
second?
know, I'm going kind of fast. I'm
Trying to find 5-year capital budget program.
Those are the categories.
Those are the categories summary. All right. And then you've got the
Department details.
department details. Okay. I'm not sure where the other summary, oh, then you've got the summaries, that's, I think it's this one?
That looks like a departmental one.
Yeah, that's Public Works.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's the
departmental.
Public Works.
So when we're talking about this summary, right, the top page looks like this. So it's a high level summary that breaks everything down by year and funding source.
So if it's your by year and funding source, and it was the one that we were looking at back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's
This one,
that one.
that one, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Thank
So
you.
that's the highest level one. That's a summary by, and so as you flip through that document, the next one is detailed 5-year capital plan. It's by department, but by funding source, and then it gets broken down further. When you go to the detail summary, that breaks it down by department and the actual items. And that's actually too, if you see the sub totaling,
Mhm.
that's also by the funding sources. So where you see police, says police free cash and a lot of free cash, and then you have one fire free cash, but then there's fire debt. I think that was for an apparatus, a fire engine. Yeah, it says it right there, actually. So this is the master summary, and then you would have all of these departmental 5-year capital plans, attached to this as well to have your grand, capital machine, if you will. So again, informally, I just wanted to offer this to you. I know this is the beginning of the season. It would have been nice if I started a couple months ago, where we could have talked about this. But if the committee wanted, I don't think it's too late. I think it would be some work for the department heads, but if the committee wanted, we could work on this. I guess informally, I wanted to ask you if you just truly want to wait till the next meeting, or if informally you thought that it would be a good idea for me to possibly update this for Templeton, but only if you're interested, because it's a lot of work for me, because I have to create these templates and roll it forward for us, and then create them by different departments, which are a little different than this structure. Like Public Works, it was different. So informally, if you had an opinion, I could begin working on this, or if you don't and you want to just talk about it completely formally at the next meeting, then we could. So I'm kind of looking for some guidance informally.
I mean, it wasn't, my only concern is it wasn't on the agenda like this, and I know that you had sent it. So I wouldn't express an opinion one way or the other, whether or not we should do this or not. I appreciate the information.
Has to be on the next meeting.
Which the next meeting, we have to talk about all of this anyway.
So all I'm asking for is guidance on an administrative process. It doesn't mean you'd be accepting this, but if the committee was interested in this, I would begin rolling forward the templates. Otherwise, if you wait,
Would I be able to ask a question, even if this is a comment period? My question is, this is, it's very similar to like, kind of like we do the budget. Is this on top of, like, they're doing an application and then they're gonna do this on top of it? Or you're thinking in years to come not to do the application?
what is the application? The thing you guys are currently using?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this would replace that. This would be your, this would be your 5-year capital.
So you would send it like we do our budget, we send them the sheets, like the Excel sheet, you've probably seen it. And each department gets it and they fill in their stuff. They would still have to give the supplemental quotes and things to go
Yep.
on top of it.
Yep.
Okay.
And we could modify it too, because there might be some things, some pieces of information you have on your documents that maybe aren't here. So I mean, it's flexible.
Mr. Chair, I would like to formally put this on, request that we formally put this on the next agenda. I will state an opinion. I think this is awesome. I anticipate, and Mr. Ryan can correct me if I'm wrong, this will help with the rest of the budgeting process. And so this should give him a leg up, so to speak. It depends, on the next. He's going to have to tell us whether or not he feels it's worthwhile to do it right now, and he can't really.
Yeah, we can't do because it wasn't on the agenda. so-
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, you can't take
Well,
a vote,
here's
but
the-
you could informally tell me what your opinion
Well,
is.
here-
informally, my opinion is, oh, yes.
It's an, yes.
But that's just mine.
the reality is that we haven't set how we're going to do the capital plan yet until we go to the next.
Right,
meeting.
exactly.
So if.
So you
I-
definitely have to formally decide how you want to do it, but like I said,
Right.
Yeah.
I could get this started for you because there's administrative work that would have to be done.
Right, yeah, no, there has, no, even for any part of the report, there's this administrative work on the back end of that, it's up, the entire report and the capital plan are up for discussion at the next meeting anyway, so if that's what you choose to do and want to present a full document like that to us, then you can send that, you know. Our next meeting isn't until the 19th, we can get it at least by Monday on the 17th, and we would all have that all in advance of it. I mean,
It would be a helpful tool. I can say that.
it's another option on the table for how we want to actually do this.
So if I wanted to send you a template, I would have to get to you by the 17th.
Yeah, if you, yeah, at least by the 17th, so that people at least have like a day or two to look at it, and then I can send out the packets.
Mhm.
So that would be good.
And you'll put this on the agenda, just.
Well, the next agenda already talks about, I've already set the agendas.
Oh, so it's already.
Formally on there, online, but yeah, it's already on the schedule to talk about. So, we'll be talking about the plan, how we want to do.
Excellent.
Okay,
No,
I guess my only question on clarifying with this when you're working on this, are you talking about that this will have to, that templates will have to be sent out for the department heads to fill out right now? Or are we talking about using the information that we've already had presented so far this year?
What do you-
Since we're so late into the season, if we start, my only concern is if we start sending things out to the department heads like right
Well,
now.
so I wouldn't, if I am gonna update this template, I would not send it out until the capital advisory committee says so. But you know, in the bylaw, does it say, do you have a drop dead date by when you have to give a recommendation to the select board?
We have to present for December 31st, so whatever their final December meeting is, we have to make it by then.
So it would be tight, but a lot of what your department heads would put into this document, they already have and presented to you just in a different format. So they would mostly just have to work on the rest of the 5-year plan. So I think it's doable. Obviously, you know, it would cause a little stress, but this is what happens when, you know, you have staff turnover mid-year. And so, you know, it's the prerogative of the committee. If the committee decides next meeting, we're gonna continue on as we did in previous years this year, and next year we'll take a look at this, then it's perfectly understandable. I just would be remiss if I didn't at least offer it now. I wish I was working here a couple months ago. That way I could have offered it, but wasn't the reality.
If I may just add one other thing, Mr. Ryan, whatever we can do and to help you succeed, help the town, I'm all for.
Understood. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that
I was
sentiment.
going to say, if plan is just to resubmit this out to the, no matter what the committee decides, if the plan is just to update everything into a form more fitting to Templeton, because there are differences between Templeton and your drafts from Salisbury, and then plugging in everything that we've already been presented. I mean, typically the clerk and the clerk or the chairman, typically it's the chairman, plugs everything into, we have our own spreadsheets that we've done. I just haven't shown it out to the committee because we haven't gotten through all the presentations. I mean, I have no problem because I have to do the back end work on the report anyway of plugging everything in, because I have to look at all of this and start plugging in what we're seeing from the departments anyway, but whatever form or fashion we want to do this in, or however you want to do it on your end is fine. But
Okay. Well, keep in mind, I'm not quite sure I know what you mean, but this would be what I'm proposing is this would be our 5-year capital plan.
right. No, I understand that.
So this would be the document we put online and similar to your FY 26 budget.
Right.
Different format.
Let's just bring it to the next meeting, and then we'll talk about everything and see what everything looks like that. I think
Okay.
That's the best idea.
Great.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
that's good.
Oh, any final comments? Or are you good?
I'm good.
Oh, James, you good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, I think my comments were long enough.
Okay, and Candace, you said you're good.
Good.
Okay, Liz,
I think this was really good. I want to say thank you, Mr. Ryan, for your suggestions and your support. And I look forward to the rest of it. So moving forward, thank you.
all right, and I have no comments for tonight, so with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, we have the motion made and seconded. The motion to adjourn is non-debatable. How do you vote, Liz?
Yes.
Candace?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. We are adjourned at